ethunzini lokufa angikwesaba lutho ngoba ukhona ubaba umveli nqangi Chachalela baba Tell umoya Oh ingwele Tell umoya Oh ingwele Tell umoya Singabantwana bakho Oh yeah Tell umoya Oh ingwele Tell umoya baba Ingwele baba Urisirelezo Monghadi Mesia Ori Mesia baba Tela moyo halalela Urisirelezo Monghadi Mesia Ori Mesia baba
Tule aguvu mimandi tule
Hello everybody at home and welcome to the Moment of Truth / the Rock PE Youth Podcast. Seated here is Buhle Chadezweni, better known as Jay, and today I'm with my gang. I'm a 2000.
Yes.
Delete 2000 myself. Ungabhidwa beard. Don't let the beard deceive you. Phethwe nje inyongo.
Yeah.
So before I get into it and introduce you guys to the family, to the gang, to the cool gang namhlanje, I just want to say welcome. Take a chill, relax, get some water, get a drink, get some popcorn because it's about to get lit. Kuzaba mnandi namhlanje, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy and are going to learn something today. Before getting into it, I'm going to ask my panel to introduce themselves briefly, and we're going to get straight into it. Take it on.
Good evening. My name is Buso Yako. I serve in the Ashning Ministry, and I'm happy to be here.
Hello, Nandinguzi Popavuma. I serve in the Creative Arts Ministry and Disindisiu.
What up, everybody? This is Kwanele here. I am saved and I serve in the worship team ministry. Thank you.
Good evening, family. This is Ayanda Porto out here. I serve in the media ministry.
Good evening, family. This is Oitu Khwentela. I serve in the media ministry and I am very happy to be here.
Good evening, family. It's Ina Kundlazia. I serve in the media ministry and it feels happy to be alive.
And that's it, folks. Inako, Buso, Zipo, Kwaito, Ayanda, and Owetu, and of course, your host, Jay. It's about to get lit. I'm very, very excited. Before we get into it, I do want to say that today we are addressing the topic of fathers and sons. I know Tuesday we had our brother Youngs, not Dr. Mabai, who was speaking on fathers and sons, taking back the hearts of the fathers back to the sons, and the hearts of the children back to the parents, the hearts of the daughters back to the mothers. On Wednesday we had Otata, and they were speaking on the need of fathers. Pastor Magibi and Otatu Mapegu, Otatu Mbalekwa, no Bratiti. If you missed those 2 episodes, please make sure you get episode 1 and episode 2. Because today's episode 3, and it's going to be more exciting. So in Petty Youth namhlanje, and we are addressing the subtopic of bridging the gap between generations. Bridging the gap between generations. At the beginning of the series, Fathers and Sons, which started on the 10th of June, Pastor Jay was very emphatic and lamented that this topic of fathers and sons is actually a neutral gender topic, if you like, or a neutral gender topic, if you like. So when we say fathers and sons, we're equally saying mothers and daughters. So, Buso, I understand that in the world we are taught worldly ways, and in the church we are taught wordy ways. We are taught with the word, and in the world we are taught secular ways. In the world we are taught to be lustful. In the world we are taught to lie. In the church we are taught to preserve ourselves, to maintain purity, to be truthful. I want you to quickly tell me how you feel and how you manage and navigate the secular space when you are in the world, when you are with your friends from school, when you are out there, and when you are in the church. What are the differences, and how do you navigate the balance? Because you need to go to school, but also in the school space is a secular space. How do you navigate the balance between the word and the world?
I feel like as a youth, as a person growing up, we should have one identity. We shouldn't be a different person in church and a different person with our friends and our family.
Yeah.
We should be the same person all the time and keep those same morals and values that we instilled at our homes and that we instilled from our churches. So I would say that, at all times, be one person. Your mother mustn't find out that you act differently when you're outside the church, and you act all holy when you're inside the church. So I think I could agree on that fact, and everybody else would agree on that fact.
Yeah. And you, Nati, how do you feel about bridging the gap between what you are taught in the world in school and what you're taught at home through the word?
I feel that at home, like being around your parents, there's a certain way that as teenagers are like forced to act, but at the same time, you shouldn't hide, as Ubusa said, you shouldn't hide who you are. You should stay true to yourself.
Yeah. Zibo?
I personally think that it also depends on what type of group of friends you have.
Yeah.
You can't go and have like friends that are going to do drugs and stuff and then come to church and be like, no, I'm more godly. So then also what Buso was saying, that you must have one identity and
Okay,
you
so
must pick right.
basically what you guys are saying is that you need to be true to who you are, true to what you are taught at home, the values, the godly values that you are taught at home. Do you want to jump in there, Owed?
Well, I would like to say that how I see it is that when you are, what you learn in church is what you can apply at places like at school, for an example.
Yeah.
Like, technically, how I can say, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but how I can say it is that maybe at church you are learning the theory, and then when you're at school, that's the practical. You got to learn to apply what you learn at school to, out there in the world. Like, for example, at school, you got to apply what you learned at church at school. Like that's a way that I can see it, because, you can't be, you can't have two identities, like Musa said. You can't be holier than thou when you're at church, but then at school, you're someone else because, you gotta have one identity.
Yeah.
That's how I can say it.
Can I add, please? And it's a bit tricky at school because you find that a lot of guys there at school and girls they live the worldly way.
Yeah.
It's difficult in that manner because you are alone. For instance, at my school, I am alone. In fact, there are guys that are aligned to church that are my friends now. Recently, I chose because I'm walking this godly way. So what I'm trying to say is it's a bit tricky there in the world. So it's best to go against whatever they think.
Yes.
Because it's your life at the end of the day, and it's your gain and it's your loss.
Yeah.
If you go according to the ways that they do, then it's not gonna be right for you. And at the end of the day, we should not be followers.
Yeah, I like what Ukwaito is saying, that you must go against the grain. You must not be a follower of the world, not a follower of your friends, and you must be a follower of Christ. Yes, Isaac.
To add on what Kwanele is saying, we are always told, even youth, that we are not of this world. That each and everything that we do should portray, should be godly in a way. So what you must tell yourself is that you're gonna stand out. Like status quo, you're not gonna adapt to what's out there. Yeah, well, you must stand for what you know is true, not just for what is popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Zippo.
I personally think that it's also a matter of who like which path you want to choose, about
Yeah.
who you want to be.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you do have two paths. But do you want to follow the school path and be like
Yeah.
other kids?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to apply what you want, like what you learned from church
Yeah.
to school?
Makes sense.
Wow. I don't think I can believe that Gama 2000 la teta up. I think they might have been born in the 80s or something. Hey, the content and we just we just did opening remarks. So I think you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys want to stay tuned as we continue with this conversation. Usatane is not happy, gang. Satan is not happy when you are committed. Satan is not happy when you serve. Satan is not happy when you are part of a ministry. I mention this because all of you are committed members of the church, as young as you are. I mean, you are between the ages of 13, 14, I think the eldest is 18. But you guys are committed, you guys are serving. And I know, the devil plots and plans and tries to attack you in different ways. I want to understand from you guys, how important is it for you as a child, as a teenager, to serve in a ministry in the church at a time where the church is spoken against, is shunned upon, at a time where Christianity is so much doubt is cast upon Christianity. I'm sure you guys see it in the social media space. You guys see it in school where people are like, hey, don't learn to Jesus Christ. Who's this white Jesus? Do you really believe in this? And they try to poke holes, strategically poke holes in the word of God. I want to get from you guys, how important is it, and why is it important for you guys to be part of ministries and to serve in a local church?
I feel like if you haven't served or not currently serving in a ministry, you won't realize how important it is. And through me serving in ushering, I realized that giving your time to something greater than you.
Yeah.
Because the church is a bigger space, you
Yeah.
know. What little you do, what little each and every person does
Yeah.
is a lot.
Yeah.
You might not realize that outside the church. You might not realize that sitting at home watching this video. But what little you do, and it even goes beyond that, because maybe in a business,
Yeah.
you are as a worker, what little you do as a worker, as a person who's maybe not in a managerial position,
Yeah.
it does a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like you just must be able to serve others before you get served yourself. So I feel
Yeah.
like it instills that type of teaching inside of you.
Yes.
Yes.
Like that, to serve others before you are served. Yes, quite.
Just to add on what Buso is saying, being in a ministry also, it sharpens you. It sharpens your personality.
Yeah.
Because when you have Christ, first of all,
Yeah.
you're not like any other person.
Yeah.
When you have Christ. Also, not only that, practically it protects you in a way that you get to be known by a lot of people in church.
Yeah.
So say now you are exposed to something outside of church.
Yes.
Then you are known, and then someone will see you at the time, and
Yeah.
then they will bazakunqanda kuloo nto
Yes.
uyenzayo. So it helps you in that way also.
I like what you're saying, Kwaito. It exposes you to people in church. Kwaito, for instance, Kwaito serves in the worship team ministry. And so worship team ministry, we all know the worship team ministry, iyavela kwi-stream ku-Facebook, iyavela phayana ku-YouTube. So that tells you that there are people who don't even come to church who see you. Into ayithethayo uKwaito apha uthi basically, even when I'm tempted to go into the bar, even when I'm tempted to have a girlfriend and walk with her on my way back from school or Uber with her, ndinala pressure ethi ndiyabona ndijonge ngabantu abadala. There are people looking at me, there are people watching me. Besides the fact that yes, you desire, the fact of the matter is I'm a teenager, I'm young, igazi liyabaleka, kukhona izinto igazi elizifunayo, but because I'm serving in the ministry, I make it much of a choice. Ndisengcingile step out of the line phinde ndiqonda uba bazawuthina abantu. I know social media that are like saying the syndrome bazawuthina abantu, it doesn't matter, but in this context it's important bazawuthina abantu.
So the ministry protects you. The ministry itself.
The ministry protects you.
Yes.
I like that.
Also, one more thing is that you also get exposed to abantu that were once in your age and who were also serving at your age.
Yeah.
So then bayakwazi ukuguide in the decisions that you're gonna that you'll make, as time goes.
Yes.
And one more thing is that like I agree with what you're saying, because like sometimes even if you're not gonna do something wrong, or like maybe you have a classmate or you know Mazan,
Yeah.
and now you're on your way from school, but you're not dating,
Yes.
but then bazothina man,
Yes.
I totally agree. Yeah.
So basically, I like what you are saying because I've experienced it in the past. I once posted on Facebook and I said, hey, bazalwane itina into. I'm driving my car. I was single then. That was before I got married. I'm driving my car. It's temperature 32 kuyatshisa apha phandle. It's extremely hot. And I see a young lady from church walking. And I'm thinking to myself, yay, do I give her a hike? but do I not give her a hike? I need to protect what you're saying. Protect your testimony. You know, so as much as you know, I'm not dating this girl. And I'm walking from school to the bus stop. But le nto ethi bazawuthina abantu iyandinceda because I protect my testimony. I end up choosing not to walk with that girl from school, to the bus stop on my way back from home. Ndiyayithanda le point uzanayo, protecting your testimony. Do you want to come in, Inant?
Oh, they've already spoken.
They've already spoken, eh? Okay. Yes, Buso.
Can I speak on like maybe character and what people see you as?
Yeah.
Because I realize now that older people, they know you. They know Ubuso who serves at ushering.
Yeah.
Ubuso who does this.
Yeah.
And like people see you as that child and maybe they trust you more.
Yes.
You know, instead of shying away, just coming to church, you know. And also a parent loves a child who serves.
Yes.
You know, a child who takes that responsibility, that sense of responsibility to help other people beyond yourself.
Yes.
You know, because at the end of the day, there are people around you,
Yeah.
and you want to develop other people. Yes.
Wonderful stuff. Yes, Quad.
And not only the people help you and grow you,
Yes.
but also the Lord perfects you.
Yeah.
You know, at work, at school, you find that personally, what I've experienced is that when I make an excuse that no, I can't go to church because I have an assignment, I end up not doing the assignment.
In any case.
In any case,
Yeah.
So it's a waste of time.
Yes.
So in that way, every time when I attend a practice of a worship team, every time, or when I come and help the media, whatever, even if I get home late, maybe after 10, I always make time.
You always make
I
time
always
to
make
to
time.
study.
Yes,
So
yes.
serving, being part of a ministry, iyakuncedisa ngediscipline.
Yes, yes.
Iyakuncedisa. It teaches you commitment. It teaches you consistency. It teaches you prudence. It teaches you being on time, punctuality, because you need to be here in church 7:30 a.m. very early in the morning, sharp. Otherwise, ubudphiko uza kungxolisa. Otherwise, usisibongi in the head, Asha uza kungxolisa. You know. Yes. Always.
Can I please add on to what Ukwanele said? I also believe that with serving, it also teaches you to trust in the Lord, because I've also, suffered a familiar fate with Ukwanele. Like, I remember, like, I always used to attend one service,
Yes.
that was the 8 to 10 service.
Yeah.
And like, let's say now, I would make an excuse, maybe I don't go to church because I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm writing, I don't know, maths tomorrow, I'm writing physics. Let me not go, because I have a lot to do. I've realized that I don't really finish what I was supposed to do. In fact, I didn't even make it a quarter way through everything I was supposed to finish.
Okay.
But like, I'm attending 2 services now, and I can
Yeah.
have maybe 3 tests I'm writing tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
attend 2 services, I serve, and like, I still manage to finish and have extra time
Yeah.
on top of that to do additional things like reading the Bible or anything like that. So I think, with serving the Lord, it also teaches you to trust in Him.
Yes.
If He says, read the Bible, but you have 7 tests to write tomorrow, just
Yeah.
read it, because, it's going to work out for you. Otherwise, I've also noticed that, if you like don't follow the instruction of the Lord, you think that, you're going to do things your way, then that's when you're going to mess up. It also says in Proverbs 3 verse 5.
Yeah.
Do not trust in the Lord. I think it's Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in the Lord. Do not rely on your own understanding.
Yeah.
Trust within the Lord and seek His will in all that you do. It's
Yes.
Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, I think.
Yeah. Amen. I like that. So basically, I always serving is not a waste of time. To say that I'm not going to go and serve because I need to study, is sometimes a lie. Just
Most of the time.
Not sometimes we stick the correction. Most of the time, because you sit at home, you don't come to practice, or you don't come and serve, and you are alone at home, you watch TV, and then when mom drives in from church, you then rush to the books. Okay.
And can I
Okay.
can I
It
quickly
goes
add
into your
something
head.
there? Can I
What's
quickly
that?
add
Yeah, yeah,
something? And you know what the devil does.
Yeah.
The devil checks your spare time.
Okay.
So that moment you think no, okay,
Akufanele
this is my excuse. No, I'm gonna be
It is.
studying. I'm gonna be doing that, and you don't study.
Yeah.
You don't study.
think about other
Now you
things.
have free time.
Idle time. Find
Yes, you have
find
free time.
something
You go
to do.
online.
Yo. You go online. Okay, we'll come back on that online later on. We'll come back on that online later on. I want us to go to the mothers and the fathers. Usatan yonwaba when there is a feud, when there is a fight, when there's disagreement between the fathers and the sons, the mothers and the daughters, the children and the parents. I want us to sort of, delve deep into the conversation and into this matter, especially as black families. You find that a lot of teenagers, a lot of young adults, baxabana nabazali babo, whether because they are absent or whether because there's disagreements in the family. And as they grow up as teenagers, they harbor bitterness, they harbor anger, they harbor hate, they become very hurt and heavy. They harbor and they carry unforgiveness. So much that when you go into your young adult years, 21 to 25 to 27, you end up losing, a genuine relationship. You end up missing out on a genuine relationship with your family and your parents. And because of this, as the black family, we end up starting all over again. Pastor J.S. City, we are always forever starting afresh because the bond is broken. Because we are trying to build for posterity, for generational wealth, for continuity. But because of these feuds that are found most of the time in the black family, we're always starting afresh. If I have a feud with my mother or my father, and I decided, you know what, screw my parents, or my father is not present, screw him. I will not, receive the blessing of my father. Because when the father is not there, he doesn't bless you. Or when you umkalala uti aisuka tata, you end up walking in life and pursuing your career and your life without the blessing of the parent. And it's critical to have the blessing of the parent. So I want us to talk about the importance of preserving that relationship. And this is time we are bridging the gap. We are bridging the gap between generations.
Amen.
We are bridging the gap between generations. What can we, as youngings, as the gang, what can we do? Yes, the parent must, yes, Christ says, I will take the hearts of the parents to the children, and the hearts of the child back to the parents. Fathers to the sons, sons to the fathers. Mothers to the daughters, daughters to the sons. But what can we, as the youngins, because we must understand that abazali bethu are people as well. They have mistakes. They have done mistakes in the past. And we cannot point a finger at them forever and say, wena mama, wati, wena tata, wati. What steps can we take? What intentional steps as young, educated generation, and that is led by the Holy Spirit, what steps can we take to meet our parents halfway? Yes, Inati.
I would say I think it's communication. Because if there is no communication, you don't know what, as a daughter, I wouldn't know what my mom is going through. She wouldn't know what I've been going through because there's no communication.
Yeah. Communication. Uti Inati, communication is key. Yes,
It
or
is something very interesting that I'd actually like to touch on that you added. It's about bitterness and forgiveness. I think it's like the basic of the basic step that you should start by. Okay, let's start here. Growing up as a child with parents, you're going to get into fights with your parents. Believe it or not, like you won't, live your whole life not even having a single argument with your mother. You're going to have arguments with your parents. That's a given, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I believe that every time like maybe there's a dispute, a disagreement, or whatever between your parents, I feel like if like there should be like after the fight, there should be that communication between the child and the parent, whether the child is apologizing for their actions or their parents. Because like I'm gonna put myself in the in this scenario. Like I remember like when I was younger, maybe 14, 13 or something, I used to get into a lot of arguments with my mother, and like I see the difference between me arguing with my mother now and then. Back then, I would tell my friends, be like, yo, Yazu mama, you know, she said this and that. Who is she to control me, whatever. And yes, I just want to move out of the house so badly. And, like it would be those type of things, like, you know, that all came from the fact that I never like used to sit down with my mother and apologize if we got into an argument. But like right now, like if I were to argue with my mother, you know, whether I'm right or wrong, you know, like maybe as soon as the dust is settled, I would sit with my mother, we would talk about the dispute that we had, and like let's say now I was wrong, which most cases I actually am, I would actually apologize to my mother.
Honesty there.
I would apologize to my mother, and like that would bring peace between us, because then I wouldn't like find it in me to go to my friends and like, you know, gossip and tell them bad things about my mother, you know, because that's because I've apologized, you know, and like, you know, there's peace now. But like then when I didn't apologize, I would carry that bitterness into my heart, and then I would say bad things about my mother, you know, towards my friends. So I think it all starts by, you got to be able to apologize, communicate. Don't let your pride get into the way, you know. You got to be able to communicate. Communication is important.
Communication is important. Don't let pride get into your way. Do you want to come in, Zippo?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the communication, I think you also need to be able to put yourself in your parents' position.
Yeah.
About that, okay, no, I had to say this and this and this. But then after that, you also need to be like, you need to understand about that we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Eventually, we will do something. But then you, like inside of you, you have to be able to acknowledge yourself about that. Okay, then aputapa. Thank you.
So basically, parents are not perfect.
Yeah.
Parents are not perfect. Yes, Aizo.
One more thing. For the past Sunday, I think it was last week, Pastor Jay spoke on 2 Kings. And what he quoted was, as young people, we cannot leave wisdom behind.
Yeah.
No matter how wise we think we are, no matter how clever we can be, we can never leave wisdom behind. And this doesn't just apply, like, only when it comes to godly living, but then like you should take it as a combo in a way.
Yeah.
Because also okay, I want to respect my mother, yeah.
Yeah.
But then now, okay, you want to respect her, but then what can I say? Okay, you want to respect her, but then you mustn't have limitations in the way you respect her.
Okay.
You must respect her no matter the circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't be too impressed by your own wisdom. It's called in the scripture story, but don't be too impressed by your own wisdom. But and don't lean on your own understanding. But you need to, you know, allow God to lead you at all times. Yes. I think Buso.
I wanted to say, in any conflict, you know, you mustn't be quick to talk.
Yes.
You must always listen. You know, over the years, as you grow up, you realize that talking is not solving the solution.
Okay.
It's just making it worse.
Yeah.
You must be quick. You must be slow to talk and quick to listen.
Yeah.
Listen to what your mother says.
Yeah.
You might not believe that it's right, but listen to it.
As
all
difficult
the
as it
time.
is.
As difficult as it is, you must listen. And, you know, you must be silent. Sometimes you just want to say something, you know, but don't just reply. Your mother is not your friend, first of all. You won't just laugh it off afterwards.
Okay.
You can get into more trouble that you could have got into with your friends. And that we should realize that as a youth. And that we might have that friend relationship, but at the end of the day, your mother or your father brought us into this world.
Yeah.
They are beyond us.
Yes.
You know, so I still say that we should be like quick to listen and slow to talk.
Slow to talk. I'm learning something myself here, viewers and listeners at home. I feel like I'm being schooled. Hey, where's Glenda?
Can I please add?
Thank you for that, Buso. Quite.
Can I please add, please? You know, there are those times where you are sitting with your parent, those nice times, you know, those glamorous times, those happy times, you know. What I point out is that at those times you need to ask your parent, how did they grow up?
Okay.
That's very critical, I think, because when you ask them how they grow up, like the things that they did when they grew up, if they were bullied or not, if they had a happy childhood, you are able to understand her at the times where she's lashing at you when she's coming from work, and then you understand, okay, maybe it's that thing that happened. So you communicate better because you understand her background or his background.
Yeah, quite. It's communication, it's pride, it's listening. It's
Not leaving your wisdom behind.
not leaving wisdom behind. No, the combos are communicating.
Okay,
The combos are communicating. Yes,
I just wanted to say, on what Ubuso said about the, you must be quick to listen and slow to speak. I just wanted to say that there's actually a scripture that actually backs up what he said, and I think you can find it in the book of James. I don't know if it's James chapter 1 or something, but you can actually find that in the book of James. So I just wanted it was a recommendation basically, because what he's saying is actually backed up on the scripture.
Yeah. Recommendation, go check it out, please.
Yes, please.
I think also something kule nto ayithethayo kwayo ndiyayithanda i-background and understanding where your parents are bringing their background, because at some point in time nabo they were teenagers. At some point in time they were young adults, just like me and you. The same way the dynamics in your life and the challenges that you are facing will affect you as a parent. It's the same way they're affecting them. So we need to cut them some slack. We need to cut them some slack, and a lot of slack. But I do want to say, Kulenda, you apologize, because I was thinking about it just now, that we're talking about apologizing and the importance of saying sorry to your umzali wako. I want to come in and say, as much as it's important for you to apologize, Mzalim, it's equally important for the parent to apologize to you. But I must stress that the parent will not always say, Buso, Zippo, inathi ndiyaxolisa mntanam. No, because they are your parent, they are authority over your life. But you know what they will do. They'll just put KFC there. They'll put KFC there, but you can on KFC. So I'm trying to say, even at home, listeners, try and identify the tactics and the ways, the means of your parents saying sorry. Your parents say sorry a lot of ways, but you miss it. When ufunati sorry, mtanam, no, umzali will not do that. It's ayizwenzeka basically. Ayizwenzeka lonto. So it's important that we also understand indlela yoba umzali wako exolisa ngapi, because they do say sorry. I do want to stress that, because many a times we think our parents don't apologize, and they do. And I also want to say that they always have our interest at heart. When they shout at you, when they scold you, when they ground you, they have their interest at heart. Even when they apply the rod, because the Bible says you need to bring up a child by the rod. Not what the world is saying. Yes, corporate punishment, bambisa umzali wako. You must never now gang. You will stop being part of the gang if you take your parents to jail. If you open a case against them when they discipline you, because a disciplined child understands the principles of life and they become disciplined themselves. So abazali, they will discipline you. I want us to talk about the importance of waiting, the importance of patience. We live at a time where we have microwaves, where we have supercars, where we have aeroplanes, where we have super bikes, everything fast, everything happening now. It's better than 500 megabytes up and down line. It's better than iPhones. Flash. It's better than AirDrop. 100 of a millisecond, dropping 25 pictures now, here and now. So we're living at a time where things happen now, and they happen when you want to, the way you want to. And so we're living in a generation where it's either my way or the highway. We're living in a generation where we can't wait for things. Your mates at school are wearing the most expensive shoes. Your parents' friends at school, when they drop them off, but dropping the most expensive cars, and your mother has a car to take you just from point A to point B, or perhaps they don't even have a car. You want to go to the best schools, and I understand that. I wanted to go to the best schools. I went to exceptional schools, but not the best that I wanted, and your parents perhaps cannot afford that. I want us to talk about the importance of waiting as a generation. He speaks about the prodigal son, the parable of the prodigal son, who demanded his inheritance from his father there and now. He didn't want to wait. he thought he was ready to have his inheritance. He took his inheritance, he went and spent it, he squandered it, he finished it, he lost his name, he came back shameful, he was embarrassed, he lost his integrity, he came back and he went and he wanted to eat with the pigs, he went and ate with the pigs. And that is what happens when you are not patient, when you do not want to wait on the Lord, when you do not want to wait on your parents. What can you tell me, guys, about waiting and the patience in life?
Okay, I would firstly like to start off by saying that there is a difference between what the Word of God says and what a human being, like our parent can say maybe. A parent can say that if upass grade 9 go 80% ndizokuthengela i-iPhone, upass go 85 ungayifumani lo iPhone. There is a difference between that and the Bible saying that Nanduka, if you do this, then this will be granted to you. What the Bible says is the truth. It will happen. There is a verse. Unfortunately, I actually forgot the verse, but it was actually my profile picture once, you know, but I forgot which book it's found on. But it says there, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him to act. So I believe now that you should actually apply that, you know, rest patiently in the Lord and wait for Him to act. If you see like your friends or your brothers or anyone like that succeeding in front of you, hey, I'm getting blessed with everything that you're praying for God to bless you to. Maybe God is blessing Kwanelo with everything that I'm praying for Him to bless me. You know,
Pastor J said, without interjecting you there, Pastor J said, can you stand seeing your brother being blessed with exactly the blessings that you wish for?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you congratulate him.
Yes.
You know, like, don't show jealousy because also, like Pastor Jay said, you know, if you show jealousy, it will just so happen that God will bless the person even more
Twice
because
as
of
much.
that jealousy.
It is.
I come from experience. That's actually happened before. That's happened before to me. So, you know, honestly, like, I really feel like you should congratulate the person and very importantly, rest patiently in the Lord. Wait for Him to act because your time will come. It will come. You just have to be patient, you know. Don't be in a rush for things to go your way. I just wanted to add that.
I love it, Owetu, because you are mentioning Abazali, which we are talking about bridging that gap with Abazali. You are mentioning the fact that your parent can promise you, but 80% iPhone, 85%, you still don't get that iPhone, even when you get 85%. I like that. And you then come and say, but if you trust in the Lord and wait patiently on the Lord, His promises are yes and amen. His promises are truthful. He doesn't promise and not deliver. He doesn't promise and not deliver. It's important that we wait on the Lord. At all times, wait on the Lord. Not wait on man, not wait on your boss, who might have promised you a promotion if you do meet certain targets, but wait on the Lord. Yes, quite.
You know, sometimes when you have something that you desire, when you have something that you want, I always think that it's safe to pray about it and forget about it.
Yeah.
To pray about it and forget about it, because when I used to stay at Amtata, you know, my father used to let me drive his car.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But then, for me, when I got here to Port Elizabeth, now my mother doesn't have a car. It became a trouble. It became a challenge because I am that, you know, I want to drive a car, you know.
Yeah.
My friends are driving a car. So what happened is, it's a story, Anchan.
It's a story. Yes, it's a story. Listen, listeners, viewers at home, listen. Viewers at home, listen very carefully at this, to the story, especially if you are a young man, a teenager, and you think you know how to drive. Back to
So what happened is, I respect a car. So what happened is, there's a friend of mine, I think it was 2017, we stole a car, his father's car. So we were driving around, we moved around, we were happy, you know. The time went, you know. But then, what happened is, now, the time that we thought, okay, no, let's take the car back now.
Yeah.
Imagine now, okay, I think it was about even a half a kilometer from where we were to his house.
His house, yeah.
So what happened is, I crashed the car.
So you were the one driving?
I was the one driving.
Your friend's father's car.
Exactly.
Not even your own parents' car. Your friend's father's car.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Exactly. So cut the story short. that happened. My mother had to pay. She had to make a plan and she didn't even have the money for that. She had to make a plan. Now imagine, to top it off, that day I got busted by the traffic. After the crash.
You never shared that part with me. Hey, I thank God for this podcast. Hey, things are being revealed now.
Yeah. So to cut the story short is, so what I decided is, after that, I apologized to my mother, and time went. I told myself that, okay, let me forget about this thing. Because it's not that it stopped, that no, I want to drive,
The desire is still there.
It doesn't, and I think especially once you start, then you want to drive even often, all the time,
great.
and you begin to doubt the next person's driving because you feel the car.
Yeah, when
it's
you
gonna be
can
better when
drive.
you are driving the car. So what I noticed, waiting, what waiting does, occasionally, I've been given cars to drive. This year, I drive cars. I drove from Port Elizabeth to East London.
Yeah.
Because of waiting. So I'm trying to highlight that you forget about that thing that you want. It helps you.
Yeah.
It helps you. You forget about it.
Yeah.
And then somehow, when you are patient, and then it'll pay off.
So hashtag pray and forget about it.
Yes.
Hashtag
Pray and forget about it.
hashtag
Pray and forget about
hashtag
it.
at home. You hashtag. Drop a comment below. Hashtag pray and forget about it. Do you want to come in, Boos?
Over the years, I realized there's a difference between being forced to wait and actually waiting yourself. Like sometimes your mother says she's gonna come 2 o'clock, and then she comes at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
You're not waiting; you're being forced to wait.
Yeah.
It's not your choice.
Yes.
It wasn't up to you to be at that school until 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then sometimes we think we have that patience because we're able to wait for la 5, sitting pamgweskolo. But it's not like that.
Yeah.
And then we apply this patience maybe in another situation. Life is not a doctor's appointment. You can set up a doctor's appointment at 2, but you'll probably get there at 3 o'clock. Sometimes you think you're going to get it tomorrow, but you only get it 2 years later.
Yeah.
So I think you must be prepared to wait in every situation you have. Marks, everything, you must be prepared to wait. Even if the slightest, smallest thing that you think, easy thing is this thing, but it's not actually like that. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, man, guys, I love it. I'm learning so much. As a son myself, Uba, we need to wait on our parents. I want to believe from what I'm gathering from you guys. If your mother could buy a car, if your mother could afford a car, she would have bought it. And if she had a car, she would have allowed you to drive. If your mother wanted, if the mother had the money to buy you an iPhone, she would have bought you the iPhone. If she had enough money to do so, she would have bought you. So, cut her some slack. She would buy you that iPhone. Get 100% and don't expect the iPhone. Pray about it.
Yes.
Forget about it. Even with 100%. Hey, Nati, do you agree with me?
I agree.
What are you waiting for?
I have nothing now. I'm just flow.
Content.
You just going with
Content.
the flow. I have content. You are living at peace with yourself. Are you waiting for anything, Zippo?
Yeah, I've been begging my mom for a phone, like the iPhone 11, and she keeps telling me no.
11.
No, but can you listen from my point of
I
view?
really forget about it.
No, but I have a point because she keeps telling me no, Zippo, Chonge prices is cheap, and then when I go check, like the price of the actual thing, well, not from the Apple Store, no, from MTN, it's quite okay.
Okay.
And then she goes and she gets something more, and I'm just like,
For her, look, she deserves it. She worked for it.
I understand she deserves it, but I also deserve something.
What's that? Yes.
I mean, can I comment on
Yes.
that specifically? Can I comment on that? You know what I've noticed is that I had Ndabane experience that a privilege, in fact, to work for some time.
Yeah.
You know, when you work.
You understand that saying, it's normal, but you got paid today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every money, imali figure Zippo, inomsebenzi already. So cut us some slack.
Yeah, cut us some slack.
Yeah.
Cut us some slack, gang.
Cut
us
us
some
some
slack.
Hey, parents, can you do me this favor? All the parents of the gang, can you
Yes.
buy them some ice cream today?
Yeah.
Cut them some You want to add something? Okay.
Yeah, one more thing is it also depends on how you wait. Because now you can't be waiting for a blessing, like pray maybe for a phone, and now whilst you are waiting for it, you'll be like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do, la phone, no. You already have plans, and you won't be patient, like automatically. Then by the time if you get a blessing, it won't be a blessing, but you're by cares in a way, because now, like you can end up messing it up. You end up being tempted into going into pornography.
Yeah.
Or you get it the wrong way.
Yeah, if you mean at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like wrong time, wrong place.
A blessing that can be a curse. I think Pastor Jay in the Cities of Fathers and Sons spoke about that.
Sure.
That the blessing that you are so in rush for, you can receive it and becomes a curse. I'll make an example of myself.
Yeah.
I started working, I think 2 years into working, I bought myself a nice car. Sunroof,
Yeah.
leather
Yo.
seats,
Yo.
17-inch Mac
Hey.
wheels,
Yo.
cross polo surrounds. Boy, how old was I? I was 23.
23.
I'm getting good cash. When
Hey.
he's a first year. Hola.
Hamba ngo-40.
Did the car become a curse? I got into drugs. I got into alcohol abuse. I started clubbing. I started going around with the wrong friends. I started sleeping around. So the blessing can become a curse when you receive it when you are not ready. Had I received that car today, the later version, the earlier version, that is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
2021 version,
21.
of the 2013 version of the same car today. I mean, I'm ready for that blessing. God, please hear me. I'm praying about it and
Waiting.
and for
And
forgetting about it. Still on the prodigal sons, I want us to talk about the prodigal son comes back, and the father does something that many parents don't do. Well, some parents do it. Is that he prepares a party for his son. He prepares a feast for his son. He gives him a ring as a sign of saying, you know what, welcome. I honor you, my son. You messed up, but I honor you. He says, no, you don't want to eat with the pigs. You want to get the best of God. You want to get the best of what your father owns. He receives him and he loves him. I want us to talk, first of all, to prodigal sons out there who have abandoned home. And when I say who have abandoned home, I'm not talking about just sons who have literally left home, because many young teenagers like you and me can't run away from home. They have to be at home. But you can abandon home whilst you're in home. You can be disconnected from your mother and your dad and your brothers and sisters. And you could be in a drug, you could be smoking drug, and you could be connected to the drug instead of being connected to your family. You could be connected more to your friends at school, your corrupt friends, more than you are connected to God, which you learn from home and who you have a relationship with. I want us to speak to those prodigal sons and daughters. How can you encourage them? What can you say to them as sons who, some of you, not all of you, who have become prodigal in one way or the other? Some of us seated in this panel have had a drug issue like myself, have been an addict to the point that I went to a rehabilitation center, which did some good for me, but I still relapsed after I came back from rehabilitation. And it was not only until I gave my life to Christ, rededicated my life to Christ, that I regained my name, I regained my integrity, that God really entirely, in the form of the word, in its entirety, restored me. I was ashamed. I hated myself. I didn't want to show myself. I hated myself. I lost my confidence. I had an inferiority complex. I lost my sense of speech, my sense of judgment. I don't want to speak to those prodigal sons and daughters today. I want to hear from you guys. Whether you were a prodigal daughter by, delving into pornography, delving into smoking, delving into alcohol, delving into jealousy, delving into gossip, delving into hatred of your brothers and your sisters in church, your brothers and your sisters as cousins. I want you to encourage the sons and the daughters, those prodigal sons who are still caught up in those kind of things, in the cheating, in the lying, in the destabilized life and being swallowed by social media and all the things of this world. What can you say to them, Inati?
Isinako.
You know.
Inako.
Inako, sorry. Inako.
I would like to say, like as a parent, that you should be patient with your child, because eventually that phase, I don't want to call it a phase, but that type of phase they're going through, it's gonna end in some way, and that like just keep checking up on them, like ask, are you okay? Do you need this? Do you need that?
Nice. Okay.
Okay, for the past few Sundays, I think Pastor Joe also spoke about staying with your Naomi. Ne?
Yeah.
So then he also quoted that no one can make themselves. Like you can't succeed without actually being guided by Omdu. Ne?
Yes.
And it is when you belong that you actually build that you have actually developed
Yes.
yourself, like your confidence, not
Yes.
only physical but emotionally as well.
Yes.
Like you get to know yourself. So what I can say is you need to make sure that you first of all you know yourself, ne? and you know who to run to. Because that's when the connection is in a way disconnected. Because then if you have a parent at home and your parent is unapproachable,
Yeah.
the first thing you think about, okay, mama, if I can't speak to her, then there's a friend. The friend yami zothini, uyothi, "Ah, man mfethu, masivesinxile man uzoba great."
Yeah.
Yabo things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you must know who to run to.
Yeah.
Know your Naomi.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can
Yes,
I
yes,
can
go
I
ahead.
can I add? For me, I think to the prodigal sons. First of all, when you are lost, you become in denial. You don't want to admit
That you are.
You know that okay, no, I need help, but you don't want to admit. So now the trick is now, where are they gonna run to? If they say now, I wanna go to someone. I've told I tell myself, no, okay, I'm gonna go to someone.
Yeah.
Who am I gonna run to?
Yes.
Have we created a platform whereby, as believers, us,
Yes.
and as Ikhotman is Ota PK, or
Yeah.
Put Malgas,
Yeah.
even you Put PK, have you guys
they are
created a
approachable.
platform that it's easy for me to talk about dating, drugs, pornography, or
Yeah.
whatever you may call it.
Yeah.
So I think it's very critical also to the believers to sigxininise kulanda yoba we open up, we singabi like you don't
authentic.
when
Must be quick to judge.
when you're talking
Okay.
to someone, you don't want to be too holy, because you're gonna lose them. So we also it goes to the parents should adapt also to the times.
Yes.
To the times that we are living in. So for me, it's approachability. We should create a platform in church where everyone who's lost, they should be able to go and tell an elder. For me personally, that in their opening up to someone, and it's for as a prodigal son, you should force it. You should force it. You know, I think what I have an image on my mind. You know, you can see the breakthrough, but something is holding you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't breathe. Then you must know that you have to
Fight.
Force it.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
whether you
feel
like
it or
it,
you don't feel like it.
even if Pastor J also quoted a testimony of a pastor. I'm not sure who was the pastor, but the pastor was about to die. A car was on his head. He had to force his head out, and he lost his ear.
Yes.
And he lost it. So what I'm trying to say is, you have to, as a prodigal son, you have to force your way in, force your way to be able to open up to someone.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Okay. I like what you're saying, Kwaito. On the parent side, go Puti. Put bethu ophikeni oput malgas, because I'm a gang, I'm a 2000. They must open up. They must be relaxed. They must create a space and moments where you guys are able to come in and share your challenges as they are. You guys are saying abazali must create a conducive environment. Even abazali who are not necessarily parenting children in church, but they are spiritual parents to them to some degree. Bangabazali babo. umzali wami umzali wakho umzali wakho umzali wami. So it's important that abazali at home you allow spaces not only for your children, first for your children but also for other children's children in the church. Secondly, to the prodigal sons, you are saying, wena who is caught up in pornography, wena who is caught up in lust, when I was caught up in drug and alcohol abuse, you need to be willing. You need to be willing to come out. You need to block out everything else.
Yes.
Uthi jonga ngokuthi do or die. Ngiyayithanda le ithethayo uthi, when you feel like you can't breathe, when you feel like you are pressed. I remember when I was struggling with my own addiction, I could be at a club, at a lavish club, drinking the most expensive whiskey, and everybody around me is excited, pop bottles by feet, all a J boy, and I would be sitting there having my 2 shots of whiskey, and I felt like I'm about to die. I'm going to die. I was scared. I could hear, but if I don't come out now, I'm going to die soon. Whether I die in an accident, whether I die of an overdose, whether I die of being shot, because I've also been hijacked at gunpoint, busy smoking a drug and super drunk at 5 a.m. in the morning. But I decided exactly what you're saying, Kwaito. Oba, it's do or die, it's now or never. I didn't feel like, I feel like worshiping God and listen to worship music and coming into the church. I, in fact, felt like not doing that. Everything in my fiber said, screw church, screw God, screw bafetsu, masibe aligning. But I said, I'm already dead spiritually. The next death that is to follow, it's physical death. And so I like what you're saying. Take that decision and say, you know what? I'm going all in. I'm cutting ties with friends. I'm cutting ties with the world. I'm going all in. I'm going back home. I'm going back home. I'm not going to eat with the pigs anymore. I'm going back home. My father is waiting to give me my ring. He's waiting to give me and honor me and love me and to make a feast for me, to make a party for me. Even when I've squandered my inheritance, because there's restoration in God. There's restoration in Christ.
And after that, the good thing about it is that, they say that after a greater struggle, there's a great reward. It's gonna come with its perks.
Yeah.
You're gonna become clean.
Yeah.
You're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So after the struggle, after the pain, after the suffering,
yes,
at the end you're gonna be free. So either way, you have to do it. You don't have a choice.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. No. If you haven't read on the story of the prodigal son, please check it out. Luke chapter 15. I think it's 11. Luke chapter 15. Luke chapter 15 around 11. I think to 32. But go and read on the story of the prodigal son. Very powerful parable. And as a prodigal son, and as a father and a mother who is mothering a daughter and a son, fathering a daughter and a son who is a prodigal daughter or a son, you want to go and read on the parable of the prodigal son. I want us to talk about the importance of having someone you revere, someone you fear. Abanye abantu baye bathi bona hayi, don't have someone you fear in life. Do you? There's tags and there's hashtags as koyo kwezinsuku. Do you fear no one? I'm guilty of a t-shirt that I was wearing earlier in the week. It said, fear none. I want us to talk about the importance of having authority over life, of having someone ozothi kuye yo uzawuthini uRolman bani, uzawuthini umama bani. Besides your direct family, how important is it also to have someone in your community, even in school, to have a teacher, to have a deputy, a supervisor, a sports coach, that that one, if I go astray, they will they will address me and they will reprimand me. How important is that in this generation that, for the better part of the time, doesn't have people they revere and they fear?
I first like to start with the quote which says, a car without a brake is bound to crash.
A what?
A car without a brake is bound to crash.
Yeah.
You need to have that authority or that figure which you fear,
Yeah.
who will not agree with what you say, who will actually go against what you say. I feel like it's very important because now there might be people out there, you see the people that agree with you, those are the people you go to most of the time because you know they won't be against you. But it's not like that. We shouldn't be having that kind of character. We should go to those who do not agree with us, who will say no, who will say, no, this is not right.
Yeah.
Who will disagree with you. And I feel like you need to have that authority figure over you, whether it be teacher, whether it be, I don't know, Pastor
Yeah.
J or anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like they will align you. When you ever go wrong, or if you step aside on your
Yeah.
path, because I feel like you need to have someone who sees the greatness inside of you, the greatness that you don't see in yourself.
Yes.
Someone else can see it inside of you.
Yeah.
They can recognize your potential, and they could recognize what you can do
Yeah.
in a world that which is discarded and which is messed up.
I like what you're saying. You need to have someone who can recognize the greatness in you, because the people who actually reprimand you, and the ones that I'm saying you must have, the person that you revere and you fear, is the same person who is not afraid to tell you, "Ba, owe to yapanga." Is the same person who's going to say, "Wow, boy, I know you're doing good. You can do better than that," because it's the same person who sees the greatness in you. Sipo, do you want to come in?
No, thank you. I'm fine.
You good? Oh wait.
Well, I was just actually gonna say that firstly, if you fear no one, you are going to respect no one.
Yeah.
That is a direct proportion right there. You fear no one, you will respect no one. And if you respect no one, like Ubuso said, that's a car with no brakes. You're gonna get into trouble. It's gonna catch up with you. In fact, even sooner than later. It's very important to fear anyone, because, correct me if I'm wrong, it also says in Proverbs 3 verse 4
Yeah.
that you should fear the Lord, and you should show kindness towards people and the Lord, and that will work. That will do you a favor with both the Lord and the people.
Yeah.
So now, if you show disrespect, that's going against that
Yeah.
verse. And I actually don't know if it's Proverbs. I think it's Proverbs.
I think it's
3
Proverbs
verse
3, 5 to 8.
yeah,
Yes.
somewhere there. But
Yes.
yes, that'll go against the word, and also if it goes against the word, it's really not going to end well for you. So I believe that it's important to fear someone, because if you fear a person, you will have respect, and if you have respect, yeah, things are going to go well for you. Actually,
I
So
want to
add
jump in
that.
and say, either way, many are the plans in a man's heart, but God's purpose always prevails. I think it's Proverbs 19. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but God's purpose always prevails. You can run away from your purpose. You can run away from the calling that God has upon your life. You can run away from your family. But that's something that Pastor Jay says to the parents. You'll never be stopping your father's son. And I want to say to the daughters and to the sons, you will never stop being your daughter's mother. And you'll never stop being your son's
Yes.
son's father, ne? No, your father's son.
Your father's side.
You'll never be stopping your father's sons. It doesn't matter where your father is, doesn't matter how ill your mother treats you or you feel like they do, you will never stop being your father's son. I want us to, before we wrap up, I want us to just speak on, in particular, fathers, because I know seated here, many of us have our mothers. Or at least a mother figure, if it's not your real mother, your guardian who is a mother who is present. For the better part of the time, mothers are present, mothers are there. If the mother is not there, you have a foster mother. But I want us to talk about the absence of fathers and how it affects you as a son, how it affects you as a daughter, because I know, many fathers are absent. I want us to, delve a bit into it, dissect that, and divulge our feelings on the absence of fathers, so that the fathers that are watching at home know what it does to us. Their absence, even when they are present, even when they stay with you at home, many a times fathers are absent even though they are there. They are present, they'll give you the money, they'll pay your school fees, they'll buy the clothes, they'll take you out. But their absence affects us in many ways. If any of you are comfortable to speak on how it has affected you as a son or as a daughter, your father's absence, and what they can perhaps do, so that the fathers watching at home can actually know how important their need is. Ngabla or Pastor Magibi, that Mapegulu was speaking on the need of fathers on Wednesday. Ngabla Bona and what they're saying, but I just want to add from our perspectives as sons and daughters, our perspectives as the gang, how does the absence of a father affect you in life? And what can they perhaps do as fathers? What can they do better?
I'm not comfortable.
You're not comfortable. Is there anybody who wants to speak on that? Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Eyes, and then we'll get to you, Busa.
Okay, it's like, okay, let me say, a father can be there, but then not be there. Ngoge khona.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, growing up, we grew up mostly as amajita, like as boys, endly. So then, when there are fathers, but then bonke, they are in a way they are portraying to the same way of living.
Yeah.
There's no right, like there's no one to actually point out into wrong.
Yes.
So then at times like they would be drinking like like utatam and some of his friends, yabo. So then he would pass me a cigarette and say, "Efondini, I'm gonna light up a cigarette." Then I go to the stove, and light a stove, and and bag a cigarette, and come back and give it to him. He's like, "Hey man, tsala the cigarette in order for it to light." You see. So then the father is there, but then they're not portraying let me say holy living.
Yes.
So then you don't just need fathers to be around, but then
Yes.
they must display I don't want to say perfect. They must display the right fatherhood or father figure.
Yes.
Yeah, in a way. So it's important to have a father in your like as you grow up, because one more thing is when you have a father, especially a father that does something that you feel you'd also want to become or want to do in the future.
Yes.
You then gain confidence, because
Yes.
you can see it happening in front of you, and you have that feeling about it's actually possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, because my father can do it, which means I can do it.
My father can do it, so which means I can do it. That means you relay land, generation to generation. Your father is the first guy to go on the knees to sacrifice so many things. He gets up, he runs on the first curve, and then maybe there was another elder brother or your grandfather's father. Maybe he's the first one, your father is the second one. But when perhaps you're the guy turning the curve, or at least you're the finisher, because you've seen your great grandfather, you've seen your grandfather, your great grandfather, your grandfather, and your father do it. Then, yes, I can finish this relay. I can get to the finish line. I can accomplish this degree. They might have not had degrees. They might have not gone to the best universities. They might have not gotten straight A's. But they tried. They did at least something. And so I can be the finisher in this relay, and they can pass the baton. But when there's no baton to pass, you have to, be the first person to pass the baton. It's never easy. Kahle, you're saying, that don't discourage me. Gabla, Ephesians 4, I think it's Ephesians 4, Ephesians 6:4, that speaks about fathers, do not exasperate your children. But what does it say? But bring them up in training and in the instruction of the Lord. Dada, bring us up in training and instruction of the Lord. Do not exasperate us. Do not anger us. Your affirmation in our lives is extremely important. Your presence in our lives is extremely important. As much as provision is important, presence is equally as important. Yes, Buso?
I would like to mention about manhood,
Yeah.
and masculinity. I felt like I haven't been taught how a man acts or how a man is, because my father hasn't been in my life as much, because as much as your mother is always there in your life, it's your father who
Yes.
instills
Yeah.
that thing inside of you. And when the father is not there, you find your own way of being a man. You create your own way
Yeah.
of, say, a man is like this according to me, according to what my friends are.
Yeah.
A man is like this.
Yeah.
You create your own idea. You summon with your own circumstances of manhood.
Yeah.
And that's where we veer off, and what we pass on to our child. It really matters.
Yes.
It really matters what generational blessings that we pass over. If you haven't been blessed by your own father, how are you going to bless your own son?
Yeah.
How are you going to bless your own
Yeah.
daughter? And I
I like what you're saying, because Pastor Jay, series got fathers and sons, spoke about as parents. He was addressing parents, saying to them, Mzali, if you don't take care of your own parent, which is our grandparents, how will your own children take care of you? Because they've not seen you take care of your own parents. So it's important that they set an example. So it's important, so what you're saying is that you must have a canvas that you can copy from as you paint your own picture in life.
Yes.
To say, okay, this is what you've painted, and the agenda is to come out and to create a better painting out of what you've already painted. But if you don't have a canvas to use, then you're painting on a blank wall. And we all know when you paint on a blank wall, it's easier to make mistakes than when you are painting on top of a canvas. Do you want to come in, Gwad?
You know what I've noticed is as I grow up, I always had a grudge against my father. You
Yeah.
know, I always wanted for him to explain himself. You
Yeah.
know? And as a result, I used to take it out. In fact, what I used to do, I used to be quiet all of the time. I don't open up. For me, it's not easy for me to open up. It's
Yeah.
not easy for me to open up. So, what I've noticed over that time is that for those sons and daughters that have absent fathers, I want to say to them, it's best if you forgive them without expecting any explanation.
Okay.
Yes.
It's best because most fathers out there, they're very proud.
Okay.
They're very proud. You know, it's my way. You know.
Yeah.
And personally, my father, when I got a privilege to spend time with him, most of the time, it's
Yabona mna boy, yo mna boy ndiqhuba imoto mna boy, yo mna boy this, mna boy that,
mna the boy that. You know what helped me? If I did not forgive him, maybe I would burst out. You know, like why don't you listen to me? Why don't you ask about my school and all of that?
Yeah.
Forgiveness comes in there.
Okay.
It bridges that gap.
Yeah.
You don't lash out at them. You don't. Then you still stick to the respect because you've already forgiven them.
Yeah.
And you don't expect anything from them. You know, I always advise it's always best to let people free, to forgive people.
Yeah.
That helps you also.
That helps you set yourself free.
To set yourself free.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in case if they disappoint you again.
Yeah.
In case if they disappoint you again, you don't feel
Yeah.
that pain in your
Yeah.
heart that
Yeah.
much because you had expected it to happen. You know.
Wow.
So forgiveness before and expect no explanation.
Forgiveness, expect no explanation, so that you can set yourself free. When you forgive, you are essentially taking the burden away from you.
Yes.
When you are forgive, you are essentially saying, God, I receive your peace. God, you are my father, the ultimate father, the father of fathers, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Elohim, my champion, my healer, my provider. That's what you are saying essentially. Critical. Son, daughter, forgive your mother. Son, daughter, forgive your father. Father, mother, love your son. Father, mother, affirm your daughters. Affirm your sons. Speak words of encouragement. Yes, it's important to discipline. We spoke about discipline.
Yes.
And we are saying we are receiving the disciplines as sons and daughters. We are receiving the scolding where needs be. We are receiving the correction. We are receiving the wisdom. But equally, sicela uthandwa, sicela uafenyo, sicela ubuzwa. Ubhale njani? How was your day? How was school? How's your relationship with your friends? What's happening in your life? Try and figure us out. Show interest. That way we grow. That way we have confidence in ourselves. That way it will help us to do better in life. It will help us to succeed better. It will help us to do better even in our books. What a mouthful. From Mama 2000, from the gang. We are changing the perceptions. We are changing the norm. Uto ama 2000 ngamanxila, ama 2000 drug addicts, ama 2000 are sleeping around. Sithi ke ngothina siyi gang. We are here to change that. Ixesha ngoku lifikile loba izinto zijike. A time has come where God is raising a remnant for a new generation, for a holy generation, for a godly generation. The time is now. Not Gomso, not Izolo, Ngoku. This is the gang. This is the rugby youth. Aizo, Buso, Ayanda, Inako, and Zipo, and Owetu. We say to you, Namhlanje, enjoy your evening, enjoy the rest of your Friday. From me, Jay, Elinye 2000. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you share the stream. Make sure you share this premiere with your friends. Copy and paste the link in your WhatsApp, on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere. Let the godly agenda trend.
Yes.
Hashtag RugPE, Hashtag my home, my future. Hashtag one church, one vision, one God. Hashtag I belong. And from the gang, we are out. Can you say bye?
Bye.
Wonderful stuff, man.
I go